My name's George Watkins.
I'm Laura, I'm 33.
I'm Elliot, I'm 19.
I'm an English Lit and Philosophy undergraduate.
I'm a freelance PA.
I'm a mental health campaigner in Wales.
My mental health issues started when I was pregnant with Jack.
When I was 14 years old.
I was about 13.
I didn't know what was wrong with me. I'd had extreme morning sickness and my gallbladder failed.
I just felt down and quite low and got unusually anxious over certain things.
There was one night I was sat around the dinner table with my family. Before I knew it, I was running around my town in total darkness in a pair of flip-flops and pyjamas.
The difference between the anxiety you get in those kinds of normal situations and the anxiety disorders that people have is with the anxiety disorders, they're often a lot more severe.
I didn't know it was bad because I assumed that that's what every first-time parent felt like.
We know that probably around 10 to 15% of women have some significant symptoms of depression in that period.
I started seeing a psychiatrist to begin with, and he diagnosed me with depression and anxiety. But he also noticed that there was something underlying, and at 15 years old, I was diagnosed with autism.
What I find people find most helpful is to have some clarity about diagnosis that they can then use to explain to people why they have certain areas of difficulty.
I remember lying on the bed with Jack and Poppy and crying and saying to Henry, I know I love them. Like with every part of me, I know I love them, I just can't feel anything. And I remember just feeling completely and utterly hollow and just basically dead.
And I think Poppy in Mummy's tummy was sad as well. Yep.
Everyone thinks with postnatal that you hate your child. It was the complete opposite. They were the only reason I was still here.
I spent most of my time in hospital because I'd self-harmed too badly or I'd taken overdoses.
I couldn't even bring myself to get up, like to go to the toilet, to put it dramatically, was like a challenge in itself. Brush your teeth, whoo, wash your hair, blink a neck. And it's really hard to explain that to people when they think depression is you feeling sad, and it's like, no, I'm just not feeling anything.
It can vary from feeling faint to feeling itchy, hot, sweaty.
I developed anorexia nervosa, and so I became engulfed in the belief that I was overweight. I became so ill that I started developing psychosis, and my brain was not able to tell the difference between what was real and what was going on in my imagination. So I started hearing voices which shouted derogatory comments at me, things like you're fat, you're stupid, you're weak, you should die. And I saw people, I likened them to J.K. Rowling's Death Eaters. So I basically lived every day in a nightmare.
It can range from simply avoiding places to really being housebound.
There's a whole dark side of the net called pro-ana, in which people with eating disorders egg each other on.
You get quite a lot of people basically saying that they're really having a hard time, that they're having thoughts that they want to end their lives. What a lot of people do is they slate them and make them feel awful and say, yeah, go on then, do it.
I could hear them talking about kind of my self-harm as a form of attention seeking. If it was attention seeking, then I wouldn't attempt to hide it. And things like snap out of it, pull yourself together, the usuals, freak, crazy, psycho, those kind of words you kind of get used to hearing, really.
Teenagers have a lot going on for them. I mean, it's a time where they're, I suppose, trying to understand more about themselves. Friendships are becoming more important.
I mean, there was a period where I didn't leave my house for 6 months. I was so I just couldn't cope. And my friends didn't come visit, they left me.
When you're suffering and you're really struggling, things like that just make it 10 times worse. Because I already felt like I was failing. I already felt like that I was worthless and that I wasn't good enough. To then hear things like that being said, it just confirms those kind of thinking.
Oh, the head tilt. You either had the head tilt or the what have you got to be sad about, and you'd sit there just going, I'm not bloody sad. Or if I am sad, it's because I'm ill.
Scared of what their parents will say, what their partners is going to say, what their friends are going to say, whether they'll have like a stamp on their student record saying this person is mental.
I should have sought help when I first realised that I was feeling a bit down and a bit anxious. And it was definitely stigma which led me to deciding to not seek help. Small comments, small hand gestures, and even laughing. For someone who's suffering, that's a big deal, and that can mean the difference between going to someone and saying, look, I'm in trouble and I need some support, and keeping it to yourself and letting it grow and fester.
I think it's hard for both sexes, but for men I'd say from what I've experienced, it's particularly tough, yeah. I mean, depression is the biggest killer of men, and it's gone up actually, of men under 35 to 49 now. Man
up. The kind of typical men should not show their emotions, they should not express their emotions. It is not manly to cry.
He knows it's all right to be angry about stuff. He knows it's okay to cry. It's okay to go and punch the punch bag. It's okay to be stressed out. And it's because we openly talk about our emotions.
It's okay to cry if you're a boy.
It's a tricky one, and that's why I think you need other guys talking to guys.
There was a pilot, wasn't there, who crashed the plane, and the first thing they came out with was, he had depression, should he have been able to fly? And I'm like, I've got depression, should I be able to have kids?
People seem to think that psychosis means psychotic or deranged or some kind of axe-wielding murderer.
Cartoons of people running around all mad and crazy and being really weird and being laughed at for being insane.
So all these people, like Kristen Bell, Will Young, Will Wheaton, they've all come out recently and started talking about their mental health and saying how they were stopped because their PR people said, you're going to ruin your career.
We're just starting the journey of getting to hopefully the point in which cancer is achieved.
In the past, people didn't want to talk about cancer. They talk about the big C rather than talking about cancer.
If we address mental illness in the same way that we've addressed cancer over the next 40 years, just as in the past 40 years there's been such a difference in the stigma and the attitudes around cancer there can be for mental health.
I think it is all about understanding and raising awareness.
So that is research, that is funding research labs.
Research has a massively important part to play. The more we understand these conditions, I think the less they become frightening.
The key to it is education, and education from a young age.
The earlier you start talking to children about this sort of thing, the more ingrained it's going to be that it's okay and it's normal and it's fine.
So they know how to look after their mental health, and they are aware that everyone has mental health, and they are aware that everyone at some point could have mental health problems.
Some schools really seem on the ball. They have a good understanding of what the young people are going through, and they're really trying very hard to help them.
Whether it's getting a speaker in to university, getting programmes on campus, there's a lot we can do.
I've set up a mental health organisation called My Discombobulated Brain, and we use the hashtag #SickNotSad.
I work with local and national organisations. I work with local governments, national governments.
The big one at the moment's my book, really, about my own personal experiences.
I'd like to go into researching these conditions.
I want new mothers not to feel alone.
It's up to us to become better at talking about this.
Because it doesn't matter what type of mental health issue you have, it can still be deadly, and people don't realise that.
All I wanted was my friends to sit down with me and have a cup of tea and just have a normal conversation, and it was moments like that that actually made me feel better.
How would you react if they were ill? In the same way you would if they had a broken leg. You wouldn't be like, come on, let's go for a jog, it'll make you feel better if you had a broken leg. Or if they're deaf, listen harder and then you can hear me.
It's like you have a poorly knee and it's the same with your brain hurting.
I just want to prove that you can talk about it, which you can.
Not being scared to ask people how they're doing, but actually mean it and say, how are you?